Morning, you're watching live this morning. I'm Suesha Sound. Our focus on the Hathras tragedy of the devastating turn of events where the death toll from the Hathras stampede has now risen to 121. Number of injured that stand at 28. In fact, the stampede that occurred during a religious congregation when there was a massive crowd that led to chaos and panic and unfortunately the loss of lives eventually. Now, emergency services and local authorities have been working tirelessly to manage the situation and provide assistance to the injured. In fact, they've been transported to nearby hospitals where they are undergoing treatment. It was Yogi Adityanath yesterday who had also held a news conference saying that a detailed probe has been ordered into the matter. In fact, an SIT panel that has been appointed by the UP government in order to get into the depth of what really happened and what caused these deaths. Unfortunately, 121 people who lost their lives in a tragedy that was completely man-made, and the unfortunate part of it that the self-styled godman, quote-unquote Bhole Baba, who continues to be on the run. He has still not been nabbed by the cops. My colleagues Piyush and Akhil, who continue to stay on the ground to get us the very latest of how the situation has developed so far. Akhil, if I could come to you first, you've been talking to a lot of eyewitnesses and those who saw it first up. You also got us those accounts to give us a sense of what led to the death of these 121 people. And even as you have been confronting the cops on how far the investigation has reached, the unfortunate part of it that Bhole Baba is still on the run. What's the latest you're picking up?
Well, if you see, Bhole Baba is still on the run, but he has issued a statement and he has said that his lawyer will be fighting the case. And the statement which the Bhole Baba has issued, it is very clearly mentioned that some anti-social element tried to create disruption at his event, due to which this mishap took place. Apart from that, if you see on the investigation part, we have been constantly questioning the district administration. And apart from that, if you see, I simply confronted the GM of Hathras, Mr. Ashish Patel, but he had no answers to these questions, that why proper arrangements were not being made at the venue. Because if you see, there were no proper barricading at that point of time. When the admission was taken from the administration, what happened at that time, if you go just by the FIR report, it's clearly mentioned that the permission was granted for 80,000 people, but approximately 2.5 lakh people have turned out for that event. So it turned out to be a nightmare for the people over there when that stampede broke out. So recently what happened, that we have been constantly speaking, even I confronted SDM of that region, and he also had no answers to these questions, that why proper arrangements were not being made, why ambulances were not there, why there was no proper security measures at that point of time. So these are the unanswered questions by the administration, and they must need to answer on that line. Yes, Susha.
As we also cut across to Piyush, Piyush, there are several families who are still looking for their loved ones, and really a question to the kind of assistance that is being provided to them. Other than those who are injured, they are undergoing treatment. What is their condition?
Well, Suyasha, to begin with, what I can tell you is that it is a bit of an irony that a self-styled godman, to whom if not thousands, then lakhs of devotees pay their obeisance, at the time of the crisis of these devotees, at the time when not only have the devotees sustained injuries, grievous injuries, not only have the devotees died in trying to pay their reverence and obeisance, but also now there have been instances in some of the old devotees have been found missing. We see that there has been no trace of this self-styled godman identified as Narayan Hari, or his real name is Surajpal Jatav, not coming out and giving a word of caution, a word of calmness to their devotees. So you can understand that what kind of person this self-styled guru actually is. Now, it is also important to note that the administration is trying to make sure that those people who have been injured are given adequate compensation so that at least they can come out of the nightmare situation which they were subjected to. But the key question now also is that will those organizers and also this self-styled godman, who in a way is also responsible for not trying to manage the situation, be brought to book and be made answerable? What we have been told is that the administration is going over there and having a look at the ashrams, but so far there has been no trace of where actually the self-styled guruman really is. Back to you.
All right, Piyush, many thanks for getting us those details. And of course, to both Piyush and Akhil, we will keep coming back to you for more on this story.